Hey, and welcome to another Tech Tuesday. This is Chad from Ascension Worship. This week we've got some great free content for you. Honestly, I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this free. So if you're watching this and it's up, go ahead and download it now while you have the chance. You can find the link in our description below. But today we are giving away my beginning bass scene for X32 consoles. So this is a scene that I use whenever we do a summer camp or if we're starting off with a new church. It encompasses a lot of the things that we've talked about over the years in this channel. So even if you can't really use this because you already have a scene, I would encourage you to watch the rest of this video and just kind of see how some of the things are patched, and it might be able to be a good resource for you in the future here. So let's hop right in and I'll show you what we got.
Hey, what do you say? Yes, it's that time again. It's Tech Tuesday.
Okay, so let's first start by looking at how the output routing is done. This console is set up to where everything that we mix is going to the main left-right mix, which is then feeding into two pairs of matrices. We have a main left and a main right, and a sub left and a sub right, because that's how we set up for camp. So again, you can change this for whatever you need, but this is the way that our camp rig is set up. There is very basic processing on here, really just a crossover point, just so these are divided up into mains and subs. We have this set to where your ins and outs are connected to some form of S32 or a pair of S16s. So right now, main left and right are routed to outputs 15 and 16. Subs are outputted to 13 and 14. Now, looking over at buses 1 through 12, we have 12 either mono or 6 stereo in-ear mixes ready to go. These are routed to outputs 1 through 12, and they are outputted so that the master fader does not do anything. And that's by design, so that hopefully they're controlling the output volume on their pack, not on the app, because sometimes that can cause some gain structure issues. So that is intentional if people ask you about that later on. So we've got 12 buses set up for in-ears. We have bus 13 and 14 are a stream mix. This is really cool. The stream mix is set up, like I've done in my videos, to where everything by default is hitting it at -5 post-fade. So whatever your mix is in the room, it's going to subtract 5 and send that to the stream, with the exception of whatever you want to change, but also by default, the speech channels are hitting this at +5. So the speech channels will always be 10 decibels louder than the band to help compensate for the way we hear in the live room versus the way we hear listening on our iPhone or computer or whatever it is that we're listening on. So everything's hitting the bus at either of those two levels. There is a precision limiter that you can see here that is applied to this and giving us the maximum amount of volume we can handle. Watch my video to see how to set that, but it's already routed there in the scene and ready to go. So that's really, really cool. And I believe I have that set to go to the USB record. And of course, you can send it wherever else you want. Okay, let's talk about effects. If you've watched my effects video, there are 3 effects that we're using here. We're using a band verb, which you can't actually see on this page right now because it's coming through the MC bus. But we also have a vocal verb and a delay, which you can see on buses 15 and 16 here. To make things really easy, things are already pre-routed to this. You just need to turn them on in some instances, I'll mention later. Up here, I'm showing the assignable controls. So if you have a full X32 or M32 with the assignable knobs and buttons, that's already done for you, just like in my video. So the knobs are band verb, vocal verb, and delay. The first row of buttons underneath that are the sends on fader, so you can adjust those as you see fit. And then the row beneath that will take you to the effect on screen if you want to make adjustments. And then the bottom right one will give you tap delay for easy access for that. I also have mute groups assigned for the effects. So if you want to quickly mute vocal effects while someone's talking or something, the bottom two, 5 and 6, are respectively vocal, verb, and delay. And then due to the way the board is laid out between an X32 and M32, both mute group 3 or 4, either one of those will work for band verb muting. I don't do that a lot, but when I'm sound checking, I like to hear it on and off. So that's already set up for you. Okay, let's take a look at the input channels. Looking at 1 through 16, I've just made everything blank. They are all sending post fade and follow fader to the stream mix at -5. And then all the EQ and everything is turned on, but set flat. So there's nothing you need to turn on. You can just start grabbing knobs and working, so you can't trick yourself into turning a knob for an EQ that's off. It's all on and ready to go. If you look on the next page over, 17 through 32, starting on channel 27, I have some presets that you can just copy and paste. Instead of trying to go through a preset menu, you can just copy and paste on here, change the name and the color to whatever you see fit, but the routing is what's important on these. So let's talk about how that's all done. Blank is obviously just gonna be blank. Drums and AC. So these are going to be obviously for your drums and acoustic guitar or any other channel that you want your processing to be going to the in-ears. So I like to do this for drums because my gating, compression, and EQ generally makes the drum sound better for the in-ears. So I want that to go to their in-ear mix. So that's already routed that way. These channels are already routed to the band verb. You just need to actually turn the channel on and then maybe adjust the levels, but that's already done for you otherwise. Instrument, that's the same thing as far as like the band reverb and the stream mix. However, these channels are sending to the ears pre-everything. So input and LC, so input, gain, and low cut are the only things that will affect the ears on instrument channels. So I like to use this for bass guitar, electric guitar, keys, and tracks generally. So those things hopefully sound good coming in. And so this will allow the band to hear, this is what my tone is at the source. And if it's bad, it's because of something that I need to change. Now, if you have an instrument like a bass guitar, and maybe you've got a new team member, they've got a not great bass guitar, and you really need your settings to go to the in-ears to make it bearable for the team, and in that case, you're gonna wanna use the drum AC preset for those channels. Okay, vocals. The vocal channels already have vocal reverb and delay applied to them. Again, they're being sent to the live stream at -5. And yeah, again, all the compression, EQ, and all that will go to the ears on the vocal preset. Speech preset are going to the ears post-fade. So for example, if your pastor is singing on the front row and forgot to turn the microphone off, as long as you can't hear it in the house, the band won't hear it either, which is gonna help them so they're not trying to fiddle with the mix to turn off the pastor's channel because they forgot to mute their microphone. So this works really well for that. And again, these are going to the live stream at +5, so they're gonna be plenty loud on your live stream. All right, click. This is gonna be for click, music director, cues, room mics, any of that kind of stuff. Things that you don't want to have come out of your main speakers. So these are all turned off in the mains. They do still have the ability to go to the live stream so that your room mics, you can turn those up from the main mix. It won't cause a feedback loop because they're not coming through the mains, but you can quickly and easily adjust those in the live stream because they're post-fader like everything else. Just make sure that on click and cue and all that kind of stuff that you have those down so they don't go over the live stream. The other reason why I did that was because if you ever have a channel that maybe is click at one point, but then at some point you change it to something else, you won't have to remember to put it in the live stream mix. As long as the fader is up, you will hear it in the live stream. So that's what's going on there. Okay, finally, let's look at our DCAs. Change this however you want, but this is what works for me. I've got drums on the first DCA. Sometimes I do drums and bass, but usually lately it's just drums. Electric guitars, then keys and tracks, then the entire band. So these are all the channels that are in the ones before, but also bass, acoustic guitar, anything else that doesn't make it into these three over here. Vocals, these two guys are in red, so they're my entire worship team. If I mute band and vox, that's the entire worship team is out of the picture. So that works really well for me. Vocal verb, this is controlling the vocal verb return so that it doesn't affect the band's ears when you are working with this. However, delay is affecting the delay send so that it will allow you to do ramping effects, which is pretty cool. Again, if you don't know what that means, watch my effects video and you'll understand that. And then finally, speech. It's gonna be for any of our speaking microphones, pastor, announcement mics, so on and so forth. So that's it. I hope this has been helpful for you. Again, go to the video description to find out how you can download this. Please, please, please help us by liking and subscribing. Share this video. We are going for all organic growth on this channel, and we really need your support to help us with that. Until next time, have a great week. Have a great week. Again, this is Chad from Ascension Worship. I hope this has been helpful for you and your team. Come back here every Tuesday for new information.